What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and this is your Darren Till versus Dricus Du Plessis breakdown. I love this fight. This is a phenomenal fight in the middleweight division. This is a real big crossroads fight. Roads. Could not fucking talk for a second. I don't know what's going on with me, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Crossroads fight for Darren Till. And this is a big opportunity for Dricus Du Plessis to climb up the rankings and be a former title challenger, former top 5 middleweight, legit guy in the division. I mean, some people might debate that. He might not be legit, but he's a guy that has held multiple positions as a top contender in at 170 and at 185. So you have to give him that. So yeah, this is an interesting fight. Honestly, man, this is a big fight for Darren. This is Darren's biggest fight of his career, in my humble opinion. And a lot of people might ask me why. He loses this in his last 6. He will be 1-5 if he loses this. All right. In his last 5, he is 1-4. Put that in perspective. He is on the verge, in my humble opinion, of being cut. They won't cut him, but he should be getting cut. In my humble opinion, I'm just being honest. So this is a big fight for him against a legit prospect at middleweight. Who, I don't know. He's looked good and he's looked bad. It's weird. It's weird to say. Dricus Du Plessis, I've not been that impressed with. In my humble opinion, I think he hasn't lived up to expectations. And he hasn't used, I feel like one of his best weapons in his game is his grappling. I feel like we haven't seen that. And I feel like we could see it against Darren, but I don't know what it is, y'all. I was going to come up here and pick fucking Dricus Du Plessis, but there's just something in me that's saying Darren Till's going to get this done. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the Brad Tavares fight. I don't know if it's the Trevor Giles fight, which has aged horribly for Dricus Du Plessis. I don't know what it is, but for some odd reason, my soul is telling me to pick fucking Darren, and it's weird. But in terms of stats, Darren Till comes with a record of 18-4. Is currently fighting at a Tiger Muay Thai's gym. That's what I've noticed. At age 29, a height of 6 foot and reached 75.0. Dricus Du Plessis comes with a record of 17-2. He's fighting out of South Africa. Age 28, a height of 6'1" and reaches 76. So, I mean, those guys, in terms of the length, the height, they're pretty similar. Obviously, I just feel like Dricus is more of a more natural 185er. And I would not say Darren Till is a small 185er by any means. A lot of people say he should go back to welterweight, and I think a lot of people forget he almost died up in there. So I don't think he should go back to welterweight. I just think he should put on more muscle. He's just looked, I don't know, he's looked in weird shape at middleweight. Looks like he hasn't really grown into the weight class. Looks like he's out of shape for some of his fights. The fight I felt like he looked the best shape for 185 was probably the Kelvin Gastelum fight. I feel like that was the fight he probably took way more serious than any other fight. Against Robert Whitaker, he didn't look great. I'm just talking about physique-wise, which doesn't matter in fighting sometimes. Against Derek Brunson, he looked god-awful. And he looked god-awful. Dricus Du Plessis is always in shape. And, yeah, he's a legit middleweight. So, yeah. But in terms of resumes, I mean, Dricus has... he's done some good stuff in the UFC. Don't get it twisted. Obviously, he has that Soldic win in KSW. He also did lose to Roberto Soldic, though, too. But, yeah, that was an interesting fight, that loss. I mean, Soldic was able to stuff the takedowns, attack him, put on good pressure, and really figure Dricus out. Dricus is very, very stiff, awkward. He's awkward. I just say his striking is awkward, and he's long, and he can catch people, but eventually somebody's gonna rip and slip and just catch him on a good counter, and that's what Soldic did. He just caught him on every counter and kept good pressure on him. He didn't just let this guy fucking run away from him. You know, he put it on him anytime Dricus made a mistake, and that's the way I could see Darren Till beating Dricus Du Plessis. But I mean, Dricus' first fight in the UFC against Marcus Perez, another fight where he looked weird until the KO. He got the KO, so it's good. Against Trevin Giles, I actually picked Trevin Giles to beat him. Trevin Giles was winning the fight until Dricus caught him. Dricus is awkward, and it's a lot of people might look at it as a bad thing, but it's a good thing because he can catch people. He can catch very, very decent fighters with it. He caught Brad Tavares with it. We'll talk about that later. But he can catch guys with this, and he's long, and it's hard to deal with it because he just punches weird, and you're not trained to deal with that. You know, a lot of these fighters aren't trained to move their head a certain way because a guy punches a certain way. You know what I'm saying? They're moved for one specific punch because everyone punches this kind of way. He punches really weird, chin in the air, almost as if he's running with the punch, switching stances almost the way he punches. Just weird punching form with him. And it's very like lungy and explosive and almost like he's just looking for the home run, right? And it's very hard to deal with, and he caught Trevin Giles lacking. Against Brad Tavares, I thought Brad won the first round clearly, and he was really figuring out Dricus by just defending takedowns in the first round. Where Dricus found success was the awkwardness of his punches and his power and his reach and his length, and he just kept lighting Brad Tavares up in these crazy sequences. He caught him with a bunch of knees up the clinch, and the 1-2s was just catching Brad. And Brad, I was in shock. All Brad had to do was slip and rip, move his head out the way, change the angle, and attack with a cross or a lead hook or rear hook, anything, any slip counter, anything where he could really punish Dricus for making those kind of lunging mistakes, and he just didn't do it. And it's interesting, and I honestly do think Darren should be looking at those kind of counters to attack Dricus, because Dricus is, you touch him in that chin, I don't think he's the most durable guy in the world. He doesn't seem that durable, in my humble opinion. I know Soldic hits hard, but still, I think Darren, if Darren touches him in that chin, he can hurt him. Obviously, Dricus hasn't shown his wrestling, which I think if he does use that, he'll probably steamroll Darren. But, I mean, Darren's shown decent takedown defense. But if we look at Darren Till's resume, though, the guy has some decent wins, man. I like, you forget, he was a legit dude at 170, you know, wins. He has that decent fight against Dalby, beat Cerrone, beat Stephen Thompson. He does have that loss to Tyron Woodley and Jorge Masvidal, beat Kelvin Gastelum. Had a really good competitive fight with Robert Whittaker, and then got steamrolled by Derek Brunson, which I told you guys that would happen. But yeah, you know, he's had good moments, and he's shown spurts of brilliance, you know, with his striking. He's shown, like, yeah, he's a decent striker. Against Woodley, he got completely steamrolled in that fight and didn't land any significant strikes. Against Jorge Masvidal, he did okay in the beginning, and then he got fucking knocked out after that, after Masvidal kind of figured out his rhythm. Against Kelvin Gastelum, his last win in, like, forever. That was, like, what, 2 years ago? 3 years ago. His last one was 3 years ago now, but he doesn't have a lot of activity, a lot of canceled fights, Darren. But, yeah, 3 years ago was his last one. That's not great. But my point is he looked good against Kelvin because he was in great shape. I think for this fight against Dricus, he's taking it really seriously, and I think he's gonna come in there with great shape when he fights Du Plessis. But with Gastelum, there's some similarities with Du Plessis. Grappler, heavy power, but I would say Gastelum's a better technical boxer than Du Plessis, but Du Plessis is way longer than Gastelum. But Darren Till was able to use his footwork, his movement, and his takedown defense to win this fight. And he showed good takedown defense against Kelvin. If he can show that same kind of takedown defense that he did in the Kelvin Gastelum fight against Dricus, he can really win this fight. It's the Derek Brunson fight that I think everyone's like kind of worried about. Even against Robert Whittaker, he had good takedown defense. He didn't get taken down a lot, and Robert's shown to be a really good grappler in the division. He hurt Robert. He dropped him in the second. No, is it the first round? He dropped him in the first round. He did really good. I had a 4-1 Robert, but it was a competitive fight. Some people had it 3-2 Robert. I don't. I think that's just some UK boys trying to find something to brag about. But it is what it is. But yeah, it's the Derek Brunson fight. That's the thing that everyone's like, yeah. They're kind of like fading Till over that. I think Derek is a good fighter. I think Derek is legit. I think Derek, yeah, you could say Derek doesn't fight as technical as he needs to, but he can really elite. He can, what am I trying to say? He can grapple with elite fighters. You know what I'm saying? He can take you down. I haven't seen that with Dricus Du Plessis. Maybe if he goes for a complete wrestling onslaught, he might win this fight. But from what I've seen in the stand-up, I truly believe, in my humble opinion, I think Darren, if he can just get out the way, slip his head, and just counter these insane, untechnical 1-2s from Dricus, he wins this fucking fight and he catches him. I truly believe that. I think he can really fucking catch this guy. And I'm rocking with Darren Till here. Darren Till can really win this fight. If Dricus doesn't wrestle nonstop for 15 straight minutes and look for submissions, I don't think fucking Darren loses this fight. I really don't. And I could be wrong, and I'll fucking eat crow. I have no issue doing that. But I'm picking Darren Till here. I think Darren Till can actually beat this kid. And I think a lot of people are kind of like hating on Darren, but Dricus has not looked good. He's not. And that Tavares fight was not him looking good. It was Tavares looking bad and not making adjustments. If Darren Till can make the proper adjustments in this fight, he will win this fight. That's all he needs to do is make proper adjustments, set up the counters. He's a way better counter striker than Tavares. He's shown that, right? He's went tit for tat with guys like Wonder Boy. Like he has shown that he has decent striking. Tavares doesn't. I truly believe that. He's more power and athleticism, but when talking about it from a technical basis, Darren Till has a way better 1-2 than than Dricus Du Plessis could ever dream of. Right? And if I said Tavares before, my apologies. I just lost my train of thought. But my point is that Darren Till is a more technical striker than Dricus Du Plessis. And if it's on the feet, Darren Till wins this fight. If it's on the ground, Du Plessis wins this fight. But Du Plessis hasn't shown in his last 4 fights, besides the Tavares fight, an initiative to go for takedowns. He has not shown it. All right, against guys he probably should have. All right, against Trevin Giles, who was lighting him up for a little bit. He lucked out with a knockout. Good for him, but still, he should have went for a takedown. He didn't. I think the ego of Du Plessis is gonna be his undoing, and I think Darren Till wins a 29-28 decision, or he could get a TKO in the 3rd round, or just catch Dricus. But yeah, I'm rocking with Darren Till over Dricus Du Plessis here. I could eat crow. I really do believe I could eat crow here. I am not too high on Darren Till, but I'm not high on Dricus Du Plessis. I'm just not. He has to prove something in this fight to me. He proves something in this fight, I won't doubt the kid, but he's not that guy to me. I'm sorry. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. I am picking Darren Till by decision. Love y'all and goodbye. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Hope you enjoyed the video.